Howdy, everybody. Let's get started on a Tuesday. Welcome back. How's everyone doing today? Let's jump right into it. Get over to Harmonic Trader. As a basic member, everything starts there. For your free trial to the software that we will feature today, send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Let's see here. Okay, good. We're good. Anyway, what's up? Great to see everyone. Welcome back. Let's get into Ethereum today. And let's talk really just the follow-up of what we anticipated, and it completely happened. We'll jump into Bitcoin, and then we'll look at, the other markets taking it on the chin today. Nothing big, but here we go. Remember the HSI oversold? The whole time we were saying, 2250, 2200, back to 2650. You hit 2950. So that is pretty strong for a return move. And again, we had some daily patterns up here. Let's go back to, where's my daily? There it was. So there's a crab pattern, and we can consider that a failure. You guys see the arrow. I mean, this has been the significant development for February, kind of the month of Ethereum. So looking great, and I don't, the bigger takeaway from this is that above these levels, there's not much. We go back to, where's our big crab pattern? Bat pattern's there, but wait, no, here's the crab. So there's your crab pattern, and target 2 at 3,400 looks like a chip shot away. Take away all the arrows here. Just highlight it. So this is I again, said this many times over the last few weeks, how important this continuation formation on Ethereum was for that and related instruments. You're running into a little HSI up here, but you're probably not going to hit anything until 3,400. So Ethereum continues to run. Let's start there and let's dig in. What's going on, chat? Great to see everybody today. What's up, Vlad, David? Thank you for your message. Well received. Alex, Justin, Cactus Leo, Miss Victoria. David sent me a note about maybe I should talk more about psychology. Maybe some framework style stuff a la Mark Douglas. And maybe hit on some of those topics in future presentations. I did want to say that I'm definitely doing a follow-up pre-halving crypto webinar, and that will be in March. We've had a few of these presentations, and they've worked out quite well. So for new HPC subscribers, anybody that purchases or subscribes or upgrades, you do get a free month, but we make these presentations available, especially in a timely manner when the markets are really starting to move. Like we've seen, we did one in October, and we did another one December, and then another in January, crypto related, and they've all been like spot on. So I want to do a crypto update before the halving, and maybe like a second half strategy. But part of what he was saying, part of what David was saying to me, some people expressing the psychological thing, I totally get. We're doing measurements, but it's easy, especially with crypto moving the way it's moving now into this cycle. It's easy to see, to be in a situation with Ethereum where it's really clear, but then some other coin is doubling or tripling, and yours is up 10%, and you're You start questioning what you're doing. I hear that a lot. I think it's a kind of like musical chairs, if you will, that people play with crypto and markets in general with their positions. And I always come back to framework, always come back to levels, always come back to the confirmation signals that we rely on because they've been banging. I mean, they really have been like this Ethereum call against the daily bearish pattern. The simple fact that we were oversold, and we've been saying all along, right? Daily oversold HSI with 4-hour patterns. And so maybe psychologically that even just how to get through this environment where things are moving, where should I be looking on even just time frames to find those next level opportunities can go a long way to clarifying confusion. And I've been saying stuff like this, daily oversold, and then give me some 4-hour patterns to trigger it. And we've seen that. This 2230 bat pattern is, long in the past now. So, I think it's important to get that reinforcement, especially we're all ultimately here trying to figure it out ourselves, but then we, kind of get together, discuss amongst ourselves, come here, hammer it out to really reinforce what we're seeing, what we should be focusing on. Ethereum just has done an amazing move that even in any market, traditional market, if you caught something from say 21 to 29 in 30 days, you're a top manager. You're a top trader, no matter what. But this is crypto, and people are looking for unreasonable things in this environment, which is fine because they will happen, but can't lose sight of some basic principles in terms of how we define opportunities, what patterns, what confirmation variables, what time frames can we get those bigger moves. Yeah, we'll talk about XRP because Jared, XRP is a perfect example. Perfect of what we've been talking about. So that's the deal with Ethereum. And I think even if you're pausing here on this 4-hour basis, you need 2 bearish candles until we get up to develop any kind of oversold dot. Here on the weekly, yeah, look what's happening. We had that yellow dot where essentially 2600 should have been the top. Consider that a failure. Just like here and here. And I think my arrows there from last time to show what can happen on failures. Ethereum, a connect the dots move, the bigger metrics, because look, Ethereum, Bitcoin's going to Bitcoin's doing remarkably well, folks. Remarkably well. We'll get to it in a moment. Ethereum is on deck. And we said all along, a connect the dots kind of a thing to a 618 level at 3350 was, you have a few things. You have like an A, B, C, D right off the low. You have an all-time 618. You have 4 of the 5 legs, and you're there. I mean, frame it out like this. There's your B leg. Bang. Let's blow this up. Shoot the BAM gap. Shoot even if we go to the 618 only, typically we'd look for the 886, but shoot that kind of a gap. We had lots of patterns down here at 22. Now run to 33, 34. I think 34 is your number. It's another $500. Vlad's asking, doesn't the framework ask or require a retest of the XA after T1, T2? That's a great question. Not always. Not always. Doesn't have to be. What you have to see is a blowout at the targets to kind of invalidate that. We saw that on tech, on like Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, all of them in the end of 2022. They all had massive weekly patterns that all did a type 1 and went to all-time new highs off of that. That's kind of what we're looking for. But you need to blow out the 618 in the same way Bitcoin blew out its 618, and then you just run. I always say take it in segments, and it's a great question because normally for patterns, we would look for something, especially a crab pattern, real nice 618, 1618 reaction, go to target 1, then come back. That did not happen this time. Let me blow this up, make it really big. What you had was a just extended base with a bat pattern. I mean, the bat pattern that we had there ended up being really ideal, smaller, back-to-back style, significant confirmation. We talked about back-to-back patterns in the January presentation and why that's so significant. That kind of adds actually some really some kind of support to the argument that off of a back-to-back situation, we not surprised to go to target 2. And then we'll see. Okay, but if it's going to be an explosive move, you take out 3,400 aggressively in the same way Bitcoin took out 48. And Ethereum has those big targets too. It's I would there's no reason why we would not do the same kind of levels, stair step levels that we've done with Bitcoin. It's just that my primary focus to get, to the 618, which is there first, is critical, because then I'm not jumping the gun. But of course, I'm going to be thinking of really 3 numbers. An 886 all time, which is 4,500, 4,430, which is possible. Let's see what happens up here. And then, of course, if we break out, we go into price discovery. I think you all know what I'm going to say here. 1618 is like 74, 7,500, 7350. Just so we know, just so we're clear on that, we're not just looking for a 10%, 20% move here. You're looking for structural change from a long-term bear market, sideways consolidation, stabilization, to now cycle resumption, long-term cycle resumption, where this eventually does make its ways to new all-time highs, like Bitcoin. But first stop, 618. So 3,350. And just so you know, the other number, the 50% level is like 2,900. So that's a big, just standard technical accomplishment to recover a 50% retracement of a bear market. And that just happened. The 5 minute, what we have on the 5 minute there, Mr. J? Oh, really nice. Thank you for that. Appreciate that shout out. That always helps the presentation. Jay was just pointing out on the 5 minute, there you go. Beautiful type 2. Beautiful type 2. And this stuff is moving 100 points, where trading 5 minute patterns is not crazy at this point. A whole bunch of stuff at 28.85. I like that. I like that. I still say, though, we'll get into some other markets. Daily oversolds, 4-hour patterns. Daily oversolds, 4-hour patterns. I think those are giving us the best opportunity for like swing continuations. We've seen a bunch move, still moving. Let's just kind of get through it. So that's really something else. That's remarkable for Ethereum. Oh, before I go any further, listen, the Ethereum, the ETH, okay, the ETH chart, the BTC chart, excuse me, the grayscale chart for Ethereum grayscale ETF is clearly running to this 2670, and even off this big shark pattern, just so you know, and these have been really helpful, these ETF charts, where we still have levels higher, that have levels 27 or 29 or $30. So this is continuing even on that ETF chart. So 3,400, 3,350. Bitcoin just down 600 today. Huge. Not really. Above 50,000, this thing is strong. This thing dips under 50,000. I think everyone's going to try to buy it. It's all about a psychological level at this point. And we know, remember, look at that session last week where we really kind of went through the long-term metrics of Bitcoin. We're beyond the 618, and at this point, your 618 was there, and you exact reversal off of it and got rejected. I'm just now going to say, at what point do we get to the 886? That's depending on your feed, 63 or 64,000. And I think we get there in a week over week climb. Take a look at this. So if Bitcoin comes back and simply retests the weekly low or the body that puts at 48.5, I think easy support trailing. And any kind of 1 week pullback is probably just a pause as we get up to what I think is going to be, make a run for 64 at the halving. At the halving. 6 weeks to get another 12,000 higher, but that's a 25% move. So that's a lot of money that's going to flow in. I think you're going to see it accelerate. It's already started. I mean, no doubt. Last 2 weeks, it's accelerating. People are just chomping at the bit for this halving to occur, and then they're going to go in, I think, full on. So play that up. 62, 63, 60 is the number. A couple more. Let's look at the big ones. XRP. So we were here last week and just saying, yes, it's terribly disappointing, but right at the daily Gartley type 2 starting to move. So we said this would take several days. You're seeing that begin. Let me get the right pattern here. Thank you. So really nice Gartley. Scraped out just under 50 cents. XA levels at 52, and we know that there's a whole bunch of patterns back here. Weekly level. Sorry. There you go. And some oversold. So you're looking for XRP to start something. Probably at this rate I don't think this thing will really fire up until the Bitcoin halving gets crazy. Maybe this starts in like 6 weeks to do the resumption, get back to some of these targets closer to $1. And it's just another delayed situation. Everything there is as constructive as you'd want to see. Steady uptrend, confirmation arrows, just break out. So patience. That's talk about psychological mind reinforcement tricks. That's the definition of it. To be in something like this, which is should be moving if everything else is moving, but it's not, and that happens. A couple more. Oh, you know what? We didn't really even address the VE chain thoroughly, where talk about doing nothing for a very long time, and now starting to. All right, I'm watching that. Still have a nice position in there. Haven't done much on there, and I'm still looking for 11.8 cents. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway on this crypto move is just picking your levels, staying firm, and being patient with it to play out. A few others. So remember Sandbox, and we know it's got daily pattern or weekly patterns. They had daily patterns just recently, and this was like a week or two ago. We're looking at all of these patterns right off the top. A lot of them played out. That's Sandbox, and these are still valid for larger continuations. The Sandbox thing is a back-to-back situation. Big shark to 5-0 with a bullish bat pattern. I could rattle off all the pattern names here. Another bullish shark, but essentially 43 cents is putting in a floor. A few others that specific ones that didn't seem like much that are really playing out. Remember Caspa at 10? That went to 20. We were down here. Daily oversold, and then we had some 4-hour patterns. So, it's we're still going to get more of these opportunities. Where's Bitcoin's off? It's only off 600. It's like nothing. If it was off 6,000, that might be something, but not really. Oh, here's Ethereum Classic. I think that's just a matter of time. Had a big thrust up, just working its way, grinding higher. But if you're looking at this on a weekly, there you go. That's in a beautiful spot. Just need like a close on Ethereum Classic above a weekly close above 27, and this should take off. It's just a beautiful pattern. It's an ideal type 2. And looking for 53.93. A few more. Well, here's Immutable X. That was another one where we were talking about these high-level daily HSI signals. That's when we were in here with Mitch, and I mentioned this last week. A lot of things had run, and what we were looking for were these pullbacks like this that could give us another leg, like another 1618 leg. I think many of you recall me kind of hitting the table on that, for Immutable X. That's maybe a little bit higher, but the thing keeps going, come down and then maybe go again. This is definitely one of these that's in price discovery that it's fairly significant spot where you could really take off. And we've seen other ones that have done that where even within the whole range, they can do, IMX can do 1618 easy. That links up with some of the other targets. Yeah, I mean like 440 or so. What was the other one? Oh, I know. Well, there was a couple actually. So the graph, look at that weekly chart on the graph. I know people have talked about that one forever. And now we had a weekly HSI on the graph, but this is the bigger, at least from the last week. Remember the shark pattern? And we were looking at this back in January, end of January, early February, where we had a shark, back-to-back patterns, and then anticipating the return. So this is still going to be an effective strategy going forward. Let things, blow up. Give them some kind of crab pattern. Do the retracement. A little back to back always helps, and then go again. Here's something I posted over the weekend. Where'd it go? What was it? No, it was FXS. I think this is Frac Shares. Hold on. Hold on, guys. What do we got going on here? There you go. Yeah, where's the... Hold on. I had... Was it this? I'll have to go back. Might have been this. I was looking at this. It was like a 4-hour shark. Daily oversold. I'm going to come back to this. Oh, the other one was H-bar. So H-bar had this shark. That was it. Really nice back-to-back bullish shark. Now we do the retest. Hey, I'm looking here. Is that the end of it? A type 2? Could be. Very well could be. I mean, that's an insane move. It was, 60% move or more. And let's see, because it would have to bust through this 11-cent mark to really get progress, do something larger on the weekly, which is what we're looking for, no doubt. I mean, you're looking for a lot of 382 price recoveries. H-bar is probably, that's a better chart. All-time 382 on H-bar from high to low. Yeah, it's like 24, 25 cents. Something like that. 24.2. Couple more. That CRV. Yeah, that was another one. That had some, that's a lot like Ripple. Here it is, 54 now. Yeah. Perfect bat pattern at 44 cents. So if you're looking at that, you're up 10 cents. You're getting ready to protect it. You would essentially go to like a 3-bar trailing stop. This thing should hold 52. Because what you're looking for is this thing to blow right through. It's a good example of one that's not blowing through. You hit the target. You hit target 1, and then you're starting to stall out already. Great move, though. Great 4-hour or daily trade, for sure. Couple more. Yeah, you guys are chomping on Filecoin and ICP. Daily with 4-hour. Daily with 4-hour. Right now you're overbought. There's your 4-hour. That's about it for now. ICP, no doubt the price recovery ranges on these are significant, but they've really just been contained for most of this move. ICP is up from 4, or what was that? 3? Excuse me, not even. So ICP made a low like 285 all time. But there is a really nice bat pattern right there at 9. Again, some back-to-back stuff. I think you got to wait a little bit if you wanted another opportunity on this. But the 4-hour time frame has been, I think, really strong with patterns and confirmation like that. Couple more. Some of the ones that, again, recent things that we've talked about. Just to take it away, here's Gala. Gala's daily shark pattern. All the way, what was that? Like, it was right at 2 cents and went to 280, 2.8. But lots of patterns here, and that's a type 2. So if that's a first thrust kind of a move, so be it. What was the other? Couple others. Here's something. I'm looking at Avalanche and Solana carefully, closely. There's Avalanche. I still would love to see that type 2 within the context of the longer term trend. Don't know if we'll get it. Take a look at where we are. We're almost oversold so far after topping at 42. So Avalanche is at 37. That could theoretically pivot out in a day or two. Needs time. Yeah, what's up, Daniel? Wants to look at Engine Coin. That was another with patterns. Big patterns. There's a shark. Back-to-back shark. Engine Coin has a lot. It's kind of like Gala, Axie Infinity, some of these other gaming coins. There's a lot of patterns there. They just haven't broken out yet. But I think it's getting close. When you see stuff like the graph finally popping out of its hole, that's significant. That's telling you that they're coming for those coins from the last cycle. Jasmy, what's up, Justin? Yeah, Jasmy, another T coin. Maybe this is the T coin time. But that doubled. And that was another daily oversold. Couple of trigger signals in a 4 hours. So let's do that again. That was Jasmy. That was 0.48 cents, and that hit 1 penny. That's a great move. 5 days, double. We all want that. So what are the next ones like that? I mean, that's great, but we've got Link selling off. Maybe we can get something on a 4 hour there soon. I still say that goes to 24. Yeah, you got a butterfly. So maybe Link gets to 16 and then does the return move. A lot of them are setting up like this. What was the other one? Oh, I can't get out of here without talking about these AI. So Ocean AI, Fetch AI, like, wow. They're really pulling the bigger move. There's Ocean. I think Ocean AI, in terms of price recovery, there you go. Look at this. That is the Binance feed. So you tell me. Ocean's got a ways to go. Doesn't matter that it was 10 cents 15 months ago. What matters is that it was 38 just recently, went to almost 80. There's still opportunity here. And if you go to the stuff like, so one of the earliest ones we were on last fall, late summer, was Fetch at like 17 cents. And it hit $1. Okay, amazing. It took a while, and even on this most recent pullback, it was as low as 52 cents, and then practically doubled. Takeaway there. Okay, even if these things move, you're getting retracement opportunities that are substantial. Here's the daily chart, And recall, look, it was a deep crab right at the low, 72 cents. I think depending on the feed, some others were like 80. Yeah, longer term feed like that. Oh, a bat pattern like 90 cents. So we'll watch fetch. I mean, it could be a little overextended right now above your target too. But if these things to break out after this resistance test, yeah, they really could go into a price discovery that is, a substantial move. You could project a 1618 off of there. The other one was AGIX. And even AGIX, look at the Gartley that it had recently, 17, a lot like Fetch. And then had this was another one, yeah, it had a shark. Yeah, I mean, that was 3 weeks ago. And that was a double. So there's the formula. There's the formula. Daily oversolds, 4-hour patterns at a minimum. Line those up. AIOZ, yeah, there's another that it's a deep crab at the moment. 22 cents probably caps it for now. But here's the thing. I mean, look, forget that. Let's just look at AIOZ this way. You're saying, okay, that was a penny. That's 18 cents for almost 20x. Where's the opportunity up here? I'm at 13 cents. How much higher can that go? And this is, again, the thought with a lot of these crypto that have already mooned. If you're looking for like that second leg to begin, we're seeing a lot of situations like this. A lot of people would be just looking at the wedges and say, okay, yeah, bull, bear flag, whatever. But the larger, especially oversold triggers at a high level, yeah, that will get you another 1618. Couple more. Yeah, and a lot of those could be like Jasmy and some of those others. Yeah, if VE chain, now's the time. Been waiting for a year on those. Well, it's here. I'll tell you what's really fantastic about some of those signals, especially like GRT, where they play catch up. It's just it can go for a while. But GRT, come on, where are you? Had this weekly oversold trigger. And this is something else I want to draw everyone's attention to, especially those that are new to the software. A key component is harmonic strength index. These arrows there, your arrow and yellow dot. Yes, we want yellow dot. You don't get it every time, but it sure helps. But we draw our eyes to those areas, draw our eyes to these areas for general support resistance, and then throw patterns in the mix. But the graph, and this is a weekly, printed the first higher level HSI really since the low and since the last cycle. Because HSI, lower HSI, lower HSI, lower HSI, first higher HSI. I mean, that can just be like price confirmation too of a confirmed higher low. But with HSI, that's an important reading. You're just getting started. We're getting there. Don't be surprised. And even like today, where some things are pulling back, you embrace those days. Embrace those days. A couple more. What did you guys have? Oh, someone wanted to look at XYO. What's up? Hey, Lenny, what's going on? XYO. Yeah, T-Coin of T-Coins. I have a little bit of a history on this one, and it's not a pretty one. Call it being a super bag holder, but you've got patterns down here. XYO. Volume's not great. Price action's not that great, but you could be doing some things. I'll tell you what's interesting, and I want to stick to the patterns. Look, Zcash, kind of left for dead by a lot of people, despite all the patterns at 20 bucks. And recently we had another move off the 20 level to 26, which is target one. I just think it's a matter of time, especially with the halving, a huge event once every 4 years coming in basically 6 weeks. So if we get a sell-off here, you are thanking market gods. Couple more. Here is super. All right, super crazy. You know, up 15x off the low, and just things that I like to watch and admire that I'm not in. But hey, if that pulls back, we can get a 4-hour something or other. I think we could get this, like a mutable X. You just gotta wait. You know, we have some 4-hour high level arrows up here, and this could keep running. A few of these that we've mentioned, the new generation crypto, as I've been calling them, or the SEI was the other one. And remember, we had a bunch of stuff on SEI. We had a daily, a couple of things right up here around 60, went to $1. And I think that's going to continue. This is an interesting chart. This is definition of price discovery chart. I mean, there's your prior cycle range. You break out, keep going, and you make another leg. So you're kind of like on that type of a rope with this. Few more. Yeah, I'll get to the Qs in a second. Filecoin. Yeah, too many T coins for me. Didn't we look at that? Or there was ICP we looked at. Well, no, we looked at this too. It's done. It's cooked for now. Done. We got to wait for that. Let that come back in. Daniel, last one, YFI. YFI, I think there's better stuff. I think we got to focus on stuff that's got patterns on the daily, not bearish. I mean, this could come back a little bit lower. What about the 4-hour? Yeah, just not, I don't like that kind of, I want to see more. I want to see, I think I mentioned this too. I want to see stuff that's doing like this. You know, your daily uptrend is like this. And you get a retracement pull back to here, some kind of confirmation, and then you go again. I think we could all say, you know, what's the trend? What's the slope here? This thing is down. This thing is down. A couple of patterns lower, but it's all lower. Really quick, before I get out, look, I said, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, that total 3 index was in a prime position to get moving. There's my arrows, high level continuation. We have failed the deep crab on the daily, and then you go to the weekly. We are, you know, we've made some serious progress against this pattern. So that, what is that? That's T coins. This is your the total 3. They should call it the total T coin index, because that's what it is. Where target 1 at 676 is where we go now. Yeah, the close on Sunday was so critical, and it was practically just a scratch above the prior resistance it needed to be. You know, 534, and the close was 544. Let's target 676. Yeah, storage, that's what's up, stepdad? Yeah, that's storage is just that's going. That's another one that just took extra time. And that was something that I talked about. I tweeted about that a while ago. I haven't tweeted in weeks. I'll get back on there. I had to step out. I just had to step out. I'll get back to it. But storage is, we liked it at 70, loved it at 60. It's now 70. And it's, yeah, whole bunch of patterns looking left. But that total 3 index, I really think that holds the key. I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're strong. The total index with those are obvious. 886, we mentioned that last time, at 2.72 happens when we break out above these levels. I would dare I say we're almost starting it soon. If we get above the all-time 618, once you crack that at 2.13, 2.12. So 2 trillion, I don't think that's just again another psychological level. 2.1. So even in the short term with these targets just above these areas, we still reach for them. We're not stopping. A couple more. Let's go over really quick segue to say Coinbase down 13 today. What happened there? Well, we almost hit target 1 at 210, and I think it still is there. Long-term recovery. Yeah, just sell the news kind of a thing on earnings. But I think 210 is, what's the 4-hour? A little overdone right now. Yeah. Keep an eye on that, though. There's the weekly. Yeah, you have a crab pattern up here, too. Do we have confirmation? No, we're not even there yet. Not there yet. Just to sell the news event. MicroStrategy. Again, if these sell off, they're probably it's the last time before they give you that next move. Oh yeah, HSI triggered, what was that, 2 weeks ago? Keep an eye on that. Both of those for ultimate 886 move, which is like 1200. 1 second. Great. So those are my 2 favorites. The others, the miners, again, I think they're going to be more volatile in general, but there's Riot Blockchain, one of the few you really need to follow. That could be Clean Spark or Bit Digital. They're all pretty much the same big weekly patterns like that, trying to start the march to target ones. The Qs, so Qs are back to 424. Interesting thing about what happened last week, Friday, okay, with the bearish close, that was first week. Let me show you. And this is still, everything's still within the kind of playbook for the year that we're here. Bearish close last week off of this HSI signal. Let me change this so you guys can see this. Doesn't do you any good with gray. There you go. Okay, good. That's better. So need another bearish close for this week. And this still at the all-time 113. Nothing really changes here. We get any kind of a pause, you kick it to the daily time frame. And we'll get another HSI as kind of the primary metric to see how far this pullback goes. But the last few times it was maybe 6 to 10 sessions there and there and there, even with a dot. But definitely 3 major instances on the daily. You're looking for the same thing. So let this have a couple more days. Let it retest basically this prior pivot from the beginning of February and go again. So it's getting close. Here's HSI, and that's on the Qs. So we're still down. Short-term metrics are down on the Qs, but the goal is to look for that next pivot where on the weekly, daily, weekly, we continue this breakout chart. We continue the long-term breakout. We could go into something like this on the weekly where we pause 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, maybe. Okay. If we really hold in here and we just slow down, that's not a big deal. And do another high level kind of HSI where we continue off of that. Stuff like the semis just got let's go really quick. NVIDIA. Its earnings coming up. I mean, this thing's doubled. It's amazing. 680. So what is it, down 40 today? Down 45. Great. But look, there's HSI here coming out of the zone. Amplified. Still, that's still overbought. Not out of the zone yet, but you see that this thing is just, it's run. So any kind of a minor pullback, like your 382 level, off the October move, 382 is nothing. $600. They're tomorrow. Thanks, Crypto Hammer. Appreciate that. Daniel, if we got the Qs to 388, I'd be really happy because that 387 is a big number. I don't know if we will. I mean, I generally am thinking we're going to probably try to go back to 400, but might not get there. Let's see what NVIDIA does tomorrow. I'd love to see a down 400, 500 point day on NASDAQ. Would love to see something like that. And just let a lot of air out of the tires all at once and then, and then resume this. Here's NVIDIA. That's their daily. Just looking for yet another HSI. You'll probably go in there tomorrow, but you're close. SMH, Semiconductor Index, look, it's another one. That's 135 in October. And that's 205. And that's a lot. For SMH, that's a heck of a move, in a short period of time. So another one where come on back down, you're already trending there. Just don't be surprised. You see some of these semis come in. Even I would still say if you're looking for opportunities on stocks, you still want to see 4-hour patterns, 4-hour oversold. And we're not there yet. Take a look at, here's one of the high flyers that people were not talking about. Super micro. I mean, that's just insanity where it was 300 at Christmas and then that's 1,000. So off 250 since Thursday, which is what you want to see. I mean, this was getting, I've mentioned this before, that was going parabolic. I say it is parabolic now, and it'd have to do some kind of correction move. There was no play there. Okay, not on the way up, but again, I was just noting like that's a parabolic move. Once that paints a big fat red candle, it's probably done for a while. I would even think that, and we've seen this many times before, such a strong move, you just assume a 618 pullback. Again, that's like 560, 600 easy. Yeah, I mean, nibbling it. So to the whole, we talked about that last week of would you take puts in things like AMD because of these patterns? And we just got the confirmation on the daily and the weekly like a week or two ago. So yeah, this is now you're really starting to open up a 3-bar reversal on AMD. I mean, that's others, no doubt, blew out patterns where this one, or I'm really surprised to see like Applied Applied Materials. Okay, tough call because that one took out its top at 180. Regardless, these are all overextended. You're going to have to be patient with this move that went into earnings is done. And we'll get another opportunity because a lot of these are breaking out into price discovery areas. So if they come back, if this is really the start of the cycle after the breakout, do something like this and then let this long-term trend just continue. What the heck? Hold on. There you go. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so anything that if you're looking for puts, it's going to have to be short-term play. I'm not looking for anything major kind of top. I'm just looking for this to correct. Let's correct what started from October. Yep. Others that are, we've talked about. Let's look at the SPY. Kind of jump there because that's all about right at the 500 psychological level. Couple of daily dots oversold. You're rolling over a little bit. I mean, it's again, if this pulled back for 2 weeks, not a biggie. You're up at the 113. Our call for a 1618 is still the long-term play. This is just a pause. Look, right there at the 113 at 498. That's what you're running into. In the same way you paused basically at the 886. Oh, there was a question. I think it was Daniel asked, how do you know when a type 1 just runs? And here's a great example of a bullish type 1. This crab pattern, deep crab pattern at the low, all right, hit target 1, went sideways, and then just kept going. Never came back all the way. A couple of things. One, you hit target 1 and there's no confirmation. You did have confirmation up here, but we did talk about how important the October HSI signal was, and that just led to the much larger move. It's not always a straight off easy read, okay, and it's very, very common. Take the profit right at target 1, and then it does that type of move, but it's just part of the deal. Some of them, though, we can spot it when it's more, especially when it takes out certain areas. Like this breakout above that prior resistance was a big move and is the start of like yet another leg higher. That's SPY. And the SPY thing now, just plant this in your brain. Like if we can get a little 382, just like QQQ, like some kind of 382 pullback of the October move is 465. That's nothing. So we're just be aware that we're there, and we had a bearish close this week, a bearish close last week, a bearish close this week. Yeah, we'll cap it for now. We'll cap it, put it into like a consolidation, but nothing big. And it's another situation when we get to the other side of this, when we get oversold again on the daily, yeah, we're looking for this thing to continue. So it's going to be something like this into the end of the month, come down, hit the daily HSI, and then get ready to go for that move into the summer. Yeah, Evan, I agree with that. There's no way that I don't think this 1618, this market does not hit the 1618 with this breakout before doing some kind of major pullback. It's just not, it's just kind of blowing through it. We're blowing through. We're not even showing any big signs of resistance on these retests as well. I think that's a big deal. Really quick, I wanted to highlight gold. Haven't looked at that in a few sessions, and I think that's in an interesting spot. It doesn't. I think the big thing you're seeing right now is it stubbornly staying above 2,000. And what you have up here is a like shark to 5-0, where 1946 is literally the continuation target. Where maybe this comes down one more time under 2,000, but I don't think this whole uptrend, slow uptrend, is going to get slowed down anytime soon. Okay, we really are holding up there. And if you hold up there for months, like let's say we stay up above between 1950 and like 2100 for the next 6 months. The longer it does that, the stronger it gets. So it's in an interesting spot, and the big breakout I think would correspond with probably rates getting cut, with a stock market rally. This is what you're looking for, and this whole consolidation zone is trying to end here. We could say this is a head and shoulders, a bunch of things here, but just 1950 on gold as it holds 2,000. It's not doing much, but it is getting interesting. And then crude oil, I think that what we've seen on daily, weekly stuff, it's another one. Doesn't have to do much. Just stay above the prior week's levels. Make a slow climb, 72, 75, 80. Again, doesn't really have to move. It just has to hold and then start the return move. So crude oil in a really interesting spot. And we've seen that with XLE. Come on, XLE. Yeah, there you go. Big Gartley right at 81 bucks. So there's patterns here. Interesting things. And a lot of this speaks to possibly a looser monetary policy. It's just a thought. But I think with that T1, you're setting up, or sorry, the T2 off the Gartley, you go back, retest like 90. So that's holding. It's really, I'm impressed. It doesn't look like much. It's more impressive in terms of time. From there to here, you're talking 112 days. Couple others. Tesla. Okay, yeah, you got out. I got out of here without hitting Tesla. Tesla, Apple, all of them. You're looking for these as opportunities down here against these patterns. When we have a crazy, oh, look at that HSI. I'll have to look at this. I guess we got a counter HSI really quick up here. I'll have to look at that. I still say 183 is a big support level off of that Gartley, but maybe not just yet with that kind of a move in the last 2 days. That was Friday, and then today had like a yellow dot bearish. I'll look at that. There are things that are setting up. I mean, look, Cisco, I mentioned that last week, and a beautiful type 2 crab right at 47.76. What's the low today? 85. Really close. But again, just like crypto from a couple weeks ago when we were thinking, where are the next set of opportunities? And we were staring a lot of these daily patterns in the face. This is the thought for tech. Let tech come and do patterns like that, pullbacks, and there are lots of patterns still out there. Looking good though. Don't know. Rates. I'm not really too concerned about rates. I think rates are their impact. If they were going to really decimate the market, that was 2022, 2023. I don't see them doing any damage to rates at this point. Really quick, the Dow Diamonds. We looked at that last week, and it just not much to talk about. It's just a slow, steady climb, very boring. and just going to continue riding this uptrend, especially since the last daily HSI. Are we getting tight on that trend line? I don't think so. Not really. I mean, this just looks like it just wants to continue. Let's circle back on this on Thursday. All right, great session today. I'm going to cut it here. But you guys have any questions, get with me over on Harmonic Trader. Get with the software, free trial, And I'll have more information on Thursday about the next presentation we'll do for March. All right, save those others for next time on Thursday. Until then, have a great one. As always, go get them, and we'll see you then.